Glyphosate. Have you ever wondered what's truly in the food you eat every day? As we delve into this question, we uncover an invisible ingredient that's become a cornerstone of modern agriculture: glyphosate. Glyphosate is a herbicide, a substance used to eliminate unwanted vegetation. It's not just any herbicide though, it's the most widely used herbicide in the world. That's right, the world. Its popularity is far from being confined to a single nation or continent. Glyphosate is used across the globe, from the vast cornfields of the American Midwest to the rice paddies of Asia. What makes glyphosate so popular? It's remarkably effective at controlling a broad range of weeds. This ability has made it a go-to tool for farmers seeking to maximize crop yields. But the use of glyphosate isn't limited to large-scale farming operations. It's also a common fixture in home gardens, public parks, and even schoolyards. To give you an idea of its prevalence, consider this. In the United States alone, it's estimated that over 250 million pounds of glyphosate are used each year. That's more than 700,000 pounds a day, every day, for a year. And that's just one country. Now, what about the crops it's used on? Well, glyphosate isn't picky. It's used on a wide variety of crops, including but not limited to corn, soybeans, wheat, and canola. These are some of the most commonly grown crops globally, meaning a significant portion of the food we consume has likely been exposed to glyphosate at some point. But glyphosate doesn't just disappear after it's applied. Residues can linger on the plants and in the soil, eventually making their way into the food supply. This is where our concern lies. Because while glyphosate may be great at eliminating weeds, its impact on human health is a topic of growing concern. With its pervasive use, it's no wonder glyphosate residues find their way into our meals. As we continue this journey, we'll explore the health implications of glyphosate exposure and the role of government in its widespread use. Stay tuned. But what does this mean for your health? This is the question on everyone's minds as we delve into the potential health risks associated with glyphosate exposure. Firstly, let's look at the World Health Organization's stand on this. In 2015, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, a part of the World Health Organization, classified glyphosate as a probable human carcinogen. This means that glyphosate has the potential to cause cancer in humans. This classification was based on limited evidence of carcinogenicity in humans, and sufficient evidence of carcinogenicity in experimental animals. But the potential health risks of glyphosate don't stop at cancer. There's a growing body of research that suggests glyphosate exposure might be linked to a variety of other health problems. For instance, let's talk about our gut health. Studies have indicated that glyphosate can disrupt the balance of gut bacteria, leading to a condition known as dysbiosis. This imbalance in the gut can lead to digestive issues like bloating, diarrhea, constipation, and even inflammatory bowel disease. Then there's liver disease. A study published in the journal Scientific Reports found that even extremely low levels of glyphosate exposure were associated with an increased risk of developing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This condition can lead to inflammation and damage to the liver, and in severe cases can result in liver failure. And let's not forget about the potential neurological effects. Some researchers believe that glyphosate exposure could be a contributing factor to neurodegenerative conditions like Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's. It's important to remember that while these studies indicate a potential link, more research is needed to definitively prove causation. However, the evidence is mounting that glyphosate might be more harmful than we've been led to believe. In the face of such potential risks, it's crucial that we stay informed and take measures to limit our exposure to this pervasive chemical. And remember, your health is your wealth, so let's not compromise it for anything. The evidence is mounting that glyphosate might be more harmful than we've been led to believe. You may be asking, which foods are the most contaminated? Let's dive right into the top 5 foods with the highest glyphosate residues. In the number 1 spot, we have oats. Yes, your morning bowl of oatmeal might be laced with more than just a spoonful of sugar. Oats are often sprayed with glyphosate before harvest to dry them out, making them easier to harvest. This leads to a high level of residues in the finished product. Second on the list are spinach and leafy greens. These vegetables are particularly susceptible to glyphosate contamination due to their large surface area. The glyphosate sprayed on nearby crops can drift onto these leafy greens, leaving residues that are difficult to wash off. Thirdly, we have soy products. Glyphosate is extensively used on genetically modified soy crops, and residues can end up in everything from tofu to soy milk. Next in line are apples. Glyphosate is often used in apple orchards to control weeds, and residues can be absorbed by the trees and end up in the fruit. Lastly, we have potatoes. Similar to apples, glyphosate is used to control weeds in potato fields, and the chemical can be absorbed by the potato plants and end up in the tubers we eat. It's important to note that these foods are particularly susceptible to glyphosate contamination, not just because of direct spraying, but also because of factors like wind drift, soil absorption, and water contamination. It's a complex issue with many contributing factors, so there you have it. The top 5 foods with the highest glyphosate residues. Remember, it's not just about avoiding these foods altogether. It's about being aware of the potential risks and making informed choices about what you eat. These common foods might be carrying more than just nutrients and flavor. But why is glyphosate still so prevalent despite the health risks? This question takes us to the role of government regulations, or perhaps more accurately, the lack thereof in the use of glyphosate. You see, the relationship between government regulations and glyphosate use is a muddled one. While the government has a responsibility to safeguard public health, it also has to consider the economic and political implications of any regulations it imposes. The influence of big agriculture and the pesticide industry in shaping these regulations cannot be understated. These sectors wield tremendous power, and their interests often steer the direction of policies related to glyphosate use. With their backing, glyphosate has been positioned as an almost indispensable tool for modern, large-scale agriculture. This has led to its widespread use, despite the mounting evidence of its potential health risks. In many parts of the world, including the United States, glyphosate is still approved for use in agriculture. This is largely due to the influence of these powerful industries, which argue that the benefits of glyphosate, such as increased crop yields and the economic prosperity it brings, outweigh the potential health risks. However, this argument seems to overlook the long-term health and environmental costs that may result from glyphosate use. It's a classic case of short-term gains being prioritized over long-term sustainability. Some countries like France and Germany have taken a more cautious approach, announcing plans to phase out glyphosate use over the next few years. These decisions were driven by public health concerns, but they also reflect growing public awareness and concern about the potential dangers of glyphosate. Yet these are exceptions rather than the rule. The majority of countries still allow glyphosate use, influenced by the powerful lobby of big agriculture and the pesticide industry. In conclusion, the role of government in glyphosate use is a contentious one, often influenced by economic and political interests, rather than public health concerns. Glyphosate use is a complex issue entangled in a web of economics, politics, and health. So, what can we do about it? It's a question that naturally arises when we come face to face with a problem like glyphosate contamination. It's a big challenge, no doubt. However, we can face it head-on with a few conscious choices and actions. Firstly, we can make informed food choices. Opting for organic foods is one way to significantly reduce our glyphosate exposure. Organic farming doesn't utilize synthetic pesticides, including glyphosate. So, when you choose organic, you're not only investing in your health, but also supporting a more sustainable and eco-friendly farming system. But it doesn't stop at organic produce. It's equally important to consider the source of our meat and dairy products. Animals raised in conventional farms are often fed with glyphosate-treated grains, which can lead to glyphosate accumulation in the animal products we consume. Therefore, choosing organic meat and dairy products can further decrease our glyphosate intake. Beyond our food choices, we can also raise our voices and advocate for stricter regulations on glyphosate use. We can sign petitions, support organizations working towards pesticide reform, and vote for representatives who prioritize our health and the environment. It's essential to remember that our collective voice holds power and can influence policy changes. Finally, spreading awareness is a crucial step in this journey. The more people know about glyphosate, its prevalence, and its potential health impacts, the more we can push for change. Informing our friends, family, and community about glyphosate can help foster a broader understanding and inspire others to take action. Remember, every small step counts. Whether it's adjusting our shopping habits, advocating for policy changes, or educating those around us, each action contributes to a larger movement. It's through these collective efforts that we can minimize the impact of glyphosate, not only on our own health, but on the health of our planet. Together we can make a difference for our health and our planet's future. Let's delve deeper into the destruction caused by glyphosate. It's not only our health that is at risk. the environment bears the brunt of this contamination too. Starting with our soil, glyphosate's extensive use has led to significant degradation of soil health. It destroys beneficial soil microorganisms, leading to decreased soil fertility and biodiversity. This could potentially disrupt the balance of our ecosystems and have long-term impacts on our food production systems. Next, we need to consider our water sources. The widespread use of glyphosate means it often finds its way into our rivers, lakes, and groundwater through runoff. This not only threatens aquatic life but also poses a risk to any species that rely on these water sources, including us humans. Last but not least, glyphosate plays a role in our declining bee populations. Bees, vital pollinators in our food production systems, are susceptible to glyphosate. It impairs their navigational abilities, making it difficult for them to return to their hives. This leads to a decrease in bee populations, which in turn affects our food production. The destruction caused by glyphosate extends beyond our health, impacting the environment we depend on. It's clear that glyphosate's implications are far-reaching. As we continue to understand and uncover these impacts, it's crucial that we take steps to reduce its use. It's not just about protecting our health, it's about safeguarding our environment and the diverse life it supports.